don't think most people would want to be me. They may think they would want to be me, but they don't know. They don't understand. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week. All those things improve the odds of success.
It is so hard. You pour so much of your life into this thing. There are such rough moments in time that most people give up.
Every financial guru online tells young people the same lie. If you want to make millions, you have to copy the exact psychological traits of Elon Musk or Steve Jobs. Work 100 hours a week, go completely all in, bet everything on one thing. But they don't understand the terrifying biological rule of nature.
Picasso had a saying that said, good artists copy, great artists steal. We have always been shameless about stealing great ideas. And I think part of what made the Macintosh great was that the people working on it were musicians and poets and artists and zoologists, historians, also happened to be the best computer scientists in the world.
This is why, again, you need to live humbly. When an opportunity opens itself to work with people that are smarter than you in a thing that feels like it could be a rocket ship, you just jump on and hold on. And when you don't do that and you put all this other nonsense in front of it, you will fail. And ultimately you will look back and you will be miserable. You need to just start. The thing about starting, there's this incredible trick that people will play on you, which is the only people that care how much you start with is other people. So I would encourage you to just start and just not tell anybody. And then show up 10 or 15 years later with a huge war chest and shove it up their ass.
In evolutionary biology, these men are not templates for a normal career. They are extreme genetic mutations. A mutation breaks every safe rule of standard biology to force a radical, unpredictable shift in the ecosystem.
If you look across DNA, mutations are going to occur, and there's an unpredictable nature of that. In a human egg or sperm, there's going to be 20 or 30 new mutations that weren't in mom or dad. They're going to occur, spread throughout 3 billion base pairs of DNA. Yeah, there's new mutations in every generation. And this is because when you copy DNA, every time you copy DNA, there's going to be mutations that are going to happen. Just, it's a 3 billion base pairs of DNA to copy. There are typos. To a first approximation, the distribution of those mutations are random. And here's the real important thing. The mutations occur without any, let's just call it, consideration of their consequences.
Sure.
Some of those mutations may be deadly. Some of those mutations may be meaningless.
Young investors see the massive wealth at the end, but they are blind to the mechanics of how it happened. They assume that gambling their last dollar is the secret to breaking out of the middle class, but this is a mathematical illusion called survivorship bias.
When starting SpaceX, I thought the odds of success were less than 10%, and I just accepted that actually probably I would just lose everything, but that maybe would make some progress. If we could just move the ball forward, even if we died, maybe some other company could pick up the baton and keep moving it forward, so that would still do some good. Same with Tesla. I thought the odds of a car company succeeding were extremely low.
Most people that are able to make a sustained contribution over time rather than just a peak are very internally driven. You have to be, because in the ebb and tide of people's opinions and of fads, there are going to be times when you are criticized, and criticism is very difficult. And so when you're criticized, you learn to pull back a little and listen to your own drummer, and to some extent that isolates you from the praise if you eventually get it too. The praise becomes a little less important to you, and the criticism becomes a little less important to you in the same measure, and you become more internally driven.
I had like about 180 million from PayPal. I thought, I'll allocate half of that to SpaceX and Tesla and Solar City, and that should be fine. I'll have 90 million, like just lots, But then what happened is things cost more and took longer than I thought, so I had a choice of either put the rest of the money in or the companies are going to die. So I ended up putting all the money in and borrowing money for rent from friends.
People can change it for the better, and that those people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do.
The Kelly criterion is a very popularized mathematical formulation of a simple concept. Don't risk everything. Don't bet everything on one big gamble. Nassim Taleb famously talks about ergodicity, which is a fancy word for the simple concept that what is true for 100 people on average isn't the same as one person averaging that same thing 100 times. The easiest way to see that is by playing Russian roulette. 6 people who play Russian roulette once each, and then each winner gets $1 billion. One person ends up dead, 5 people have $1 billion, versus one person who plays Russian roulette with the same one gun 6 times is never going to end up a billionaire, is going to end up worth 0.
Nature completely hides the failures. For every single mutation that successfully mutates to conquer an environment, millions die silently in the dirt. When a young investor goes all in on a single stock, crypto coin, or volatile business, they aren't copying a billionaire. They're playing Russian roulette with their life savings.
You saw it, didn't you? It was down some.
Why? How come?
I don't know. Bad day.
Bad day for you?
Another one, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Too many in a row.
So, how do you actually make money if you can't act like a mutant billionaire? The answer lies in the laws of thermodynamics. You stop trying to create a fragile explosion at a single localized point, and you look at your capital like an energy grid.
Now, it's not difficult to just buy an index fund and sit on your ass. That's the great default position.
In physics, if you focus immense energy or heat into one isolated point, the system experiences a localized explosion. It ruptures. But if you inject that same energy evenly across the entire system, the shockwave dissipates. The network absorbs the impact, decreases overall risk to 0, and dramatically increases its long-term survivability.
My mantra of investing is 15 good uncorrelated return streams, risk balance. I know that if I can pick good investments and they're uncorrelated investment, I won't lower my return because I'll have the average of those returns, but I will lower my risk by up to 80%.
This is the actual science of making money. Instead of going all in on a single volatile asset, where an unexpected market shift can completely fuck you, you inject your money into the system as a whole. You buy the broader index. You diversify. By distributing your capital across the entire market grid, you turn human progress into a massive, shock-absorbing matrix that grows your wealth automatically.
The best single thing you could have done on March 11th, 1942, when I bought my first stock, was just buy an index fund and never look at a headline, never think about stocks anymore, just like you would do if you bought a farm. You just buy the farm and let the tenant farmer run it for you. And I pointed out that if you'd put $10,000 in an index fund that reinvested dividends, and I paused for a moment to let the audience try and guess how much it amount to, it would come to $51 million now.
Musk and Jobs built wealth by gambling the house on a localized mutation. They are the 0.0001% of anomalies who survived the blast. To build unshakable wealth as a young person, you act like the grid designer, not the gambler. You fuel the system, you continuously inject capital into the total market, letting the compounding energy of global innovation do the work while eliminating your individual point of failure.
Good investing requires a weird combination of patience and aggression, and not many people have it. It requires a big amount of self-awareness and how much you know and how much you don't know. You have to know the edge of your own competency. But having the temperament, that's a different kind of a person, and I think it's hard to teach that.
Stop betting on the explosion and start fueling the system, because once you understand how to fuel the market grid, your next step is mastering how to protect it from your own psychology. To understand the exact mental model Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger use to eliminate dumb mistakes before they happen, click the video on your screen now.